was one of the giants from Genesis discovered in San Diego in 1895. The San Francisco Examiner reported the unearthing of a mummified individual, speculated to be 9 feet tall when alive. But was this the sole giant in the region? The article suggests that there might be more to the story. The article reads, "Of late years, however, there have been several discoveries announced that would seem to suggest that the lower part of California, an adjoining country, has had more than its share of giants. Apart from the tradition of the Yumas, Maricopas, and even the Apache Indians, which are full of accounts of giants, there are some things that have really a scientific basis that suggests that abnormally large men have lived on this coast." There is another interesting fact mentioned in this article that discusses the remains of a giant in the West spoken of by Sam Hubbard, Jr. It says in the same article, he found in the Colorado Canyon fossilized remains of a man whom he declared was over 12 feet high. The prehistoric giant is in such an inaccessible position that nothing could be done by the party towards getting him out. Part of the body was clearly visible on a sandstone beach. Some force had broken away the legs, but the observer insists that there can be no mistake about the remainder. Several hunters and prospectors have mentioned these remains, but Mr. Hubbard was the first to bring back any details about them. Although not scientific, there are Indian traditions that mention a giant called the Maricopa story. According to the article, same article we've been looking at, the story goes that a giant was in pursuit of a chief who strayed into the mountains. The giant was so enormous, the chief escaped him by falling into a narrow canyon. Because the giant could not follow in the quarry after the chief, he looked into a crack to locate the chief. It was at that moment the chief fired an arrow that reached into the giant's brain. Through the eye the arrow pierced. Falling back, the giant caught the top of the high ridge, pulling the mountain over him, burying himself in what appears today as a pyramid on its side. Could these stories, which are now legends, be based in fact? Evolution teaches that man was small and is growing bigger. The remains of the giant pictured here are now the property of the Smithsonian Institute. Yet, have you ever heard of this fossilized giant ever existing? Could it be that displaying remains like this would prove that the Bible is accurate and to be trusted as a source of truth?